Hello and welcome to a special edition of Paws For Thought. As you can see, I'm standing on the sand here at Wimbledon Stadium, home of the Daily Mirror Greyhound Derby and of course the flagship of the GRA. I'm happy to say that SIS and the GRA have come to an agreement where we can show you the semi-finals and the final of this year's Daily Mirror Greyhound Derby. Well, coming up shortly, we'll have all the views of all the trainers connected with the finalists. But first of all, let's take a look back at that first semi-final on Saturday night, where the anti-post favourite Lartigue Note ran from trap 4.
And they're off in the first of the semi-finals as they come down towards the first bend. It's Perk Supreme from trap 5, who's the early leader, from Cat's Rock Rocket up from 6 on the outside. Behind those comes Castle Ivy Mick. The favourite Lartigue Note from trap 4 is just about last at the moment as they race down towards the second last bend, where Cat's Rock Rocket from trap 6 shows in the lead from Perk Supreme, just in behind him in second place. A bit of trouble there. Perk Supreme lost his position and coming towards the final bend. Cat's Rock Rocket from 1 leads from Lartigue Note from trap 4 coming with a good run, and then comes Castle Ivy Mick as they race up towards the line. It's Cat's Rock Rocket going on to win from Lartigue Note.
Lartigue Note not getting the best of the runs in the semi, but qualifying for this Saturday's final. Well, we start our preview of the final by interviewing the trainer of Lartigue Note, Ger McKenna. First of all, Ger, how has Lartigue Note come out of the semi-final run last Saturday?
Coming out very well. I think he's very fresh. Delighted with him at the moment.
Were you satisfied by his performance, because he had a very awkward draw in that semi-final out of trap 4?
Actually, when I saw the draw, I thought it was curtains. I'm delighted we got through. I thought coming into the first bend we were gone. Thank God he got through and finished. I'm delighted to be in the final.
He's a gutsy performer, because we saw him finish third behind Ardnock in the earlier rounds in really atrocious conditions. Is that one of his qualities?
Well, he's a young dog. He hasn't had too much running, like, before he even came. But to me, his 2 races he has been beaten are nearly the 2 best races he run. I've been more pleased with him in the 2 races. I like a dog that'll come from the back.
Ger, has Lartigue Note settled in well at Kim Marlowe's kennels?
Perfect. He never has went off a day wrong all the time. He's been perfect every way. He's very easy. I'm delighted with him at the moment.
I understand you brought over your own water as well. Why is this?
Well, we always do it. Well, they say there's something, water in England is softer or something, and we'd be afraid to dehydrate. So we bring the water always over and get more sent over, like, during the course while we're here. Yeah. We bring enough, keep us going for the time being. Maybe we'd be going home again, you see, but then we get sent over. The longer we're here, the more we want.
Yeah. And do you think this has proved invaluable into your
your
build-up?
I think it has. I think water is very essential with dogs, day and night. And even if we were running a short, we'd probably boil it, you see, but more so we'd get it over. But the bread, we don't like changing them too much. We only know the one way, the old way. We try and keep doing that way.
Right. Many people say he's the classiest runner in the final. Now, what are his main qualities as a racer?
Well, probably the only fault he has, he's not that terrific a breaker, but after gone 10, 15 yards, he kits it down. He's chasing that hare stone mad. He's a determined greyhound, which probably not too many of them around at the moment.
Like you say, he doesn't possess blinding early pace, and he has an awkward draw, trap 2 in the final. What are your views on that draw?
Well, I'm hoping with a full week, like, maybe probably good for the goose at the gander, but he's after having 4 races in 12 days, and our dogs are not just used to that much running, and I think with a week's rest, I think he'll be bang on, and hoping he'll take the first bend in front.
Well, you won the Derby back in 1981 with Parktown Jet, a strong favourite at that time at White City. Now you have what is the favourite, some say the joint favourite for the competition with Lartigue Note. Do you think you could bring back the Derby crown back to Tipperary?
I'm hoping so. Hoping so.
Ger McKenna hopeful of his chances on Saturday night. One of his main challenges will come from Bill O'Hare's Cat's Rock Rocket. I started by asking Bill if he was surprised to see him in the final.
No, I'm not, and I'm very confident. The Derby roar, I think, is the only thing that can put me off. I'm not too bothered about the trap 4. I think if he comes out, as I said, and he breaks with them or slightly in front of them, he'll win.
What did you think of his semi-final performance? Because there was a bit of a melee at that third bend, wasn't there?
There was, and I think, you know, we were we always carry stopwatches to the tracks, not for the overall distances, but for instances like that. And if you stop and start to watch, and the length of time it took for him to stop and start on the third bend the other night, he lost about 40, 50 spots, nearly half a second. And he was on his way to do a very good time on Saturday night.
Yeah. Well, if Catsrock Rocket finds himself up and leading at the second bend, do you think he can be caught?
No, I don't. I don't. Because he's got into trouble. He ran a couple of very good rounds on the quarterfinals and semi-finals there where he's been hampered. He hasn't had the best of clear runs around the first bend. He's been shaded off on both occasions. He was hampered on the bottom, third and fourth bend. And I think the night he gets loose, there isn't a dog in the country who's going to catch him.
A very confident-sounding Bill O'Hare, whose Catsrock Rocket runs from trap 4. One of the youngest in the lineup is Castle Ivy Mick in 1. I asked his trainer, Frida Greenacre, whether the Derby night razzmatazz would affect him.
I wouldn't have thought so. I think he's a very keen pup and seems to be taking everything in his stride.
Can you tell us something about his past? Because, like you say, he's very young, lightly raced. I mean, where did you get him from?
Well, my husband went over to Clonanna coursing in February and stayed 2 or 3 days for the coursing. He went to Limerick racing on the night that he won a final sweepstake at Limerick. Was very impressed with the pup, made inquiries about the dog, and we were fortunate enough to buy him a few days later after that final.
And when did you think he was Derby material? When did you see something special about him?
Well, my husband saw it on that night. He thought he was classic material, and obviously, as you know, in this dog game you can bring dogs home that don't make the classics that you obviously hope, but he's got a good eye for a dog, and you know, he was the one, and the credit is down to him for the running of the dog in the Derby.
What do you feel about his trapping ability throughout the qualifying rounds? Have you been happy with it?
I think he's trapped better and better. His problem is he's still running very much a novice, and which we call green, and he's not coming up completely straight from the boxes, so he's losing a length to the corner that he would do if he came up straight. But certainly I'm very pleased with how he's progressing.
Frida, are you happy with his trap 1 draw?
Well, if it's got to be a choice from 1 and 2, you've got to go for the 1 box, haven't you, whether you swing off or not. When he comes to the corner, he loves the rail, so, you know, obviously, yes, I'm very happy with the draw.
And what are your chances of winning the Derby on Saturday?
I couldn't answer that. He's there, and he'll be doing everything in his power to win it. I know, because he's so honest, and the rest is down to luck and him.
Good. Well, those are the views then of 3 of the trainers involved in this Saturday's final. Coming up shortly, we'll have views from the other 3 trainers involved. But first of all, let's look back at that second semi-final, where we had Kildare Ash in 5 and Kilcannon Bullet in 6.
And they're off for the second of the semi-finals as they race down towards the first bend. A good break from trap 5. That's Kildare Ash, who shows just in the lead from Kilcannon Bullet. A bit of trouble at that first bend, and trap 1 round Tower Grove found trouble there. Down towards the second last bend then, and now Kilcannon Bullet from trap 6 goes on from the 2-dog Terminator. Then comes Early Vacation from trap 3, and Couladine Style staying on from trap 4. They come towards the final bend now, and Kilcannon Bullet shows in the lead. He's gone clear now from Terminator, Early Vacation and Couladine Style, but racing down towards the line, there's no danger to Kilcannon Bullet, who wins it in good style.
Kilcannon Bullet scorching round in a time of 28.69 in the second semi-final. Well, I asked his trainer, John Coleman, whether he thought his method of resting the dog before the Derby had paid off.
Yeah, definitely. We're in the final. I think that answers that question.
Indeed, he seems to have improved throughout the rounds. Now, how have you been able to achieve this?
Well, when he started off in the Derby, he obviously wasn't 100% race fit, because it's my belief that a dog coming to win an arduous competition like the Greyhound Derby has got to be a fresh dog. And in my mind, I thought the dogs that were running all year would not win the Derby. And I thought one of the things to do was to come in with a dog that was very lightly raced. If he was good enough to qualify early on, allow him under his own steam to improve as he went along. And hopefully that he would peak towards the end of the competition, and that just looks like what's happening with my dog.
What are your views on his draw? He's got trap 6 in the final.
Well, you can't be unhappy with a trap 6 draw. Initially, I wasn't over enamoured with it, but having taken it home, studied it and looked at it, I think we're quite lucky to be there, really. I'm sure some of the other wide runners would probably like to swap with us, so I'm quite happy.
Are you surprised to see Kilcannon Bullet joint favourite in one of the bookmakers' lists?
No, not really. I mean, on the evidence, I mean, greyhound racing, prices for greyhound racings are based on the dog's last run. That's the only thing that's any good. And his last run was brilliant in my mind, and I didn't expect him to be any bigger than he is, really.
Well, Kilcannon Bullet not only has the chance of winning £30,000 in prize money, but he also has a chance of winning a £10,000 bonus for his connections if he pulls off the Arc and Derby double. Now, is he up to it?
Oh, well, we feel, you know, I feel he is, and obviously the people involved with him, the people that work in the kennel, the girl, Lorraine Sams, that looks after him. I mean, we're all pretty confident. I mean, when you're in a Derby final, there's no way you can be overconfident. I mean, you can't be overconfident in any type of racing at any time, but I mean, everything seems to be going along the same pattern as the Arc at Walthamstow, and you know, based on Saturday's performance, I think, given the look on the night, we want plenty beating.
The second to Kilcannon Bullet in the semi-final was Early Vocation in 3, who, as we see, ran well to qualify. I asked his trainer, John Honeysett, out of all his entries, was he hopeful of seeing Early Vocation in the final?
Yes, I was hopeful right from the start with Early Vocation. I always knew he was a good dog. You know, we had one or two little problems with him, but he's a lightly raced dog, and I suppose underestimated by a few, but not underestimated by punters at Wembley. He's a very popular dog there. I mean, he's won 5 out of 6 races that he's had there, and all in good class. So we was never really surprised. You know, I mean, the only thing I was bothered about was whether he was going to run the track, and it's turned out he does run the track quite well. So, you know.
To my eyes, his best performance was in the quarter-finals, where he matched Kildare Ash for early pace and then stayed on the strongest. Now, is that one of his qualities, his early pace?
No, he's good. He's a dog that's good usually from the boxes. He's got good early on to them, but he doesn't quite hold them to the corner. You know, the really early pace dogs, like, they go out and they go all the way to the bend, but he tends to come out good, show he's early at that stage, but then he gets caught at the corner. But if he can get around that corner, he's very strong from there. He's a very strong dog from the halfway mark.
We have 4 wide runners in this Saturday's final. Now, you found yourself in trap 5. Do you think that could be troublesome?
No, because I think they'll be behind us anyway, so they won't be worrying us too much, you know, at the first bend. There isn't a great deal of early in the final, not what we've been meeting in the earlier rounds. So I would think probably the fastest dog to the corner with a clear run is probably Catsrock Rocket. The way I see him, if he does break, well, he's going to be going into the bend. And I think if we can go up with him on the outside, I know it's all up there at the moment, but, you know, I do honestly think we've got a good chance.
Last year, John Stoke Whisper ran a brave race to finish second behind Hit the Lid. Will Early Vocation go one better?
I think he can if we can get a run, yeah. I think he can. I don't think there's any dog in it, apart from perhaps Letargue Note, if he was right close to us early on. He's about the only dog I think would pick us up if we could make the corner. And the way I read the race, I think we can make the corner. But, you know, they do make liars of us. There's no question about that. But, no, I really do. I fancy his chances a bit there. You'll have the luck as well, haven't you?
Undoubtedly, the fairy tale story of this year's Derby concerns the Trap 3 runner Couladine Style, whose trainer Paul Stringer was only granted a licence 2 months ago. I asked Paul how had Couladine Style coped with the rigorous format of the Derby.
He's coped really well, considering I've only had him in the kennel for 2 weeks before the Derby, settling him down. He's coped really well.
And of course, you've had to do a lot of travelling. You're based at Wolverhampton, so that's some miles you're putting on your clock.
Yes, it's a 300-mile round trip, and that's one of the advantages the London dogs have got on us as well. We travel so far.
Well, he's looked really strong at the finishes in his races. Now, do you feel the 400-metre trip is just a little bit too sharp for him?
It is, yes, but if these favourites make any mistakes or there's any trouble, he's likely to be there at the end with his fast finish.
Are you bothered at all by his Trap 3 draw?
No, it's a perfect draw for us, as he cuts in at the first bend, and hopefully Lartigue will be away and give us a clear run after him.
But Couladine Style is the rank outsider for the final. Does this price reflect his chance on the night?
Well, it's anybody's race on the night. Anything can happen.
So you're hoping for a slice of luck there at that first bend?
Yes. which would help us tremendously.
Well, we've heard from all of the trainers concerned. There's the full lineup of this year's Daily Mirror Greyhound Derby. In Trap 1 is Castle Ivy Mick, one of the youngest and most inexperienced in the race, trained by Frida Greenacre.
And he'll be doing everything in his power to win it, I know, because he's so honest, and the rest is down to luck and him.
Could this year's £30,000 prize go to Joe McKenna, who trains the favourite Lartigue Note, undoubtedly one of the classiest runners in the field?
I always thought, from the first time I saw him, I thought he looked useful, and I said he might be a dog could run Wimbledon well. And I told people 2 months ago I thought he had a chance of winning the English Derby. So thank God he's here, and I'm hoping that he will win.
The outsider in this year's lineup is the Trap 3 runner Couladine Style, trained at Wolverhampton by Paul Stringer, who could well become a very rich man.
I've backed him down from 100 to 1 down, 66s and 50s, and if he's 33s I'll be betting him again.
The Trap 4 runner Cat's Rock Rocket was 700 to 1 at the start of the competition, but his trainer Bill O'Hare is very bullish on his chances.
I believe that if the dog comes out and hits the ground with the rest of the dogs or slightly in front of them, I don't think there's a dog in the country will lead him or catch him for that matter.
The man who surely deserves some good fortune is John Honeysett, who's been out of luck in the past 4 finals. Could he win it with early vocation?
Don't think there's any dog in it, apart from perhaps Lartigue Note. If he was right close to us early on, he's about the only dog I think would pick us up if we could make the corner.
Or perhaps the much-fancied Kilcannon Bullet in Trap 6 can collect the £10,000 Arc Derby bonus for trainer John Coleman.
I mean, everything seems to be going along the same pattern as the Arc at Walthamstow, and, you know, based on Saturday's performance, I think, given the look on the night, we want plenty beating.
So now we've heard all the views from all the trainers who are connected with runners in this week's final. It's up to you now to decide who will follow Hit the Lid's footsteps in the Daily Mirror Greyhound Derby. Could it be John Honeysett at last, with early vocation running from Trap 5? Will the crown go over the Irish Sea to Joe McKenna at Tipperary? Or perhaps the gamble of the race, Kilcannon Bullet in 6, could pay handsome dividends? Why not find out and come along to Wimbledon this Saturday evening? Be early for a great night's action.